So the only thing that we would be doing is really, it would just be extra therapy for you. I mean, and then maybe I have some words of wisdom to share, and some helping you, with radical acceptance, helping you with the kind of the same thing you're doing with Haley, but kind of on the FUD side.
What does that mean,
So,
radical acceptance?
radical acceptance. I'm learning radical acceptance, Robert.
Well, the radical seems like bad, like what comes to my head. Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
bad
No,
acceptance isn't, like, is that what it means?
no, it
No?
doesn't mean bad. It just means like, okay, this is the situation. I'm gonna accept it so that I'm not. It's like I can't control this. I can't control the world or people, but I'm gonna control what I do. It's like acceptance.
Yeah,
It's
and
called
that's
radical
kind of
acceptance.
what
It's part of it.
the issue's going on now, because at the same time, I can't refuse anything, because if I do, it's a violation. But at the same time, I don't want to accept being violated. How many people get abused and are okay with being abused, and then they learn to be okay with it? Well, I've been with the system and shit. I've learned that you need to stamp up and you need to say something, because once somebody starts abusing you, they're going to keep doing it and doing it again. And what I feel she's doing is abuse. She's saying she has nothing to do with this new case. But even today, talking to my counselor, it's wrote in my conditions of release of the new crime that my PO has say so over certain things. Does my PO know that? No. Does it? But yet at the same time, it's because why? It's something is not making sense, and until it makes sense to me or it's logical, then I have to be leery and worrisome or on guard, because something is stewing, and that's just, it's not paranoia. It's protection. It's protecting yourself.
Yeah, I understand that. And our goal is to advocate for you. Okay, that's our goal here. We're not probation. Our goal is to help you in the areas that you need.
And I even asked her. I even said yes, I want a hearing, because why? If it would have went to a hearing, I was going to ask the judge to be released from probation, because this is too much bullshit. Because she misses more appointments than I do. Out of the 8 appointments we've had, she's missed 5 of them or 6 of them.
Okay.
When I did my evaluation for my assessment, she said go directly over and report afterwards. Okay. Does she know how long evaluation is? No. She first told me at noon. My appointment for evaluation was at 12:30. I got out of there like 2:50, 2:55. Went directly over there. She wasn't there, and the door was locked. You know what happened that day? She showed up at my house with a supervisor and 2 sheriffs in bulletproof vests, saying, "Oh well, Robert, we have a problem. You missed your appointment today. You didn't show up." No, ma'am. Why don't you look on your caller ID, because I called you at 3:03 p.m. and you didn't answer the phone because there was nobody at that office. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I guess we're just here for a home visit then. And then, even though that's how it happened, even my counselor doesn't really. I mean, she probably does, but it just it when they first showed up, they came to arrest me for a PV for not missing or for missing my appointment. And then once I showed them my caller ID or my phone and told her to check her caller ID and her voice messages, then they backpedaled and then said, "Oh, we're here for a home visit."
I see. Okay. No, I can see why you're trying to figure things out. You're trying to, and I understand all that. Um, my area is like I just want to help you where I can, Robert. Wherever
And
that
I
is.
feel that I'm getting the help that I need, being in Christmas Valley, and being away from all the chaos as much as I can, and then having for I've never had therapy process this productive and this intense and this um I don't, not valuable, but it's working better than any of my therapy has before. And yet my PO sits there, and at least 3 times out of our meetings she's mentioned, well, maybe you should just relocate. Do you have somewhere else you can go? It's like she doesn't want me there.
Can I say something? Because I've kind of seen you when you first came here to where you are today,
Yeah.
and I will second that what you just said. Like I have seen like huge strides just on how you're speaking, how you're calming yourself, how you're checking the facts, how you're dealing with things. Like I have, and I've just noticed like each time you came in and you saw Haley, like it was like you were shedding like another layer of those the emotions that you were like when you came in here that were at high, right?
Yeah.
And not being able to deal with them. And so I will second that you have been showing up and doing what you need to do for you, and to try to figure out all this stuff. And that's what I want you to understand is like I only wanted to help you out with that, so that's why I stepped back. Now, as far as like relapse prevention, like anybody who's had drugs and alcohol in their past or has been raised with it, it's just extra therapy.
Yeah.
You can think of it that way.
Yeah, no,
You can think of it. It's just
I
it's
get,
a safe place. Yeah.
I
Come
get that,
in
but then at
and
the same time, there's the weight on the shoulders or the unknown of like, okay, time out. It was because the way that like taking it from her own words was that it seems like you and her like talked about the evaluation either before it happened or whatever it was, and that you guys have, as in, she said, we um, decided that I needed the therapy, as she calls it, re-engage in services, and then me just asking, well, I've never really engaged with services with her. I had that appointment for the evaluation, and then in one time when my therapist wasn't there, I made an appointment with her just to be able to not miss a week and then have that and have an open door to be able to see how it works with being able to like have a communication or whatever it was with her. I said, but I've never really engaged in services with her. She didn't want to hear that.
I do not tell her any information on the assessment. So there's no we. I don't the probation is totally completely different. I had stated to her that I believe it's more harmful for you to start working through SUD stuff right at this time. I didn't tell her if you had a problem, or I didn't say anything like that.
And then the other thing that she said was that because of your behavior. Because first it was, no, we're not doing a sanction, but we're going to do an intervention. And I was like, what's that mean? And then she explained it to me. And I said, no, I want a hearing then. And she goes, well, Robert, your behavior has been. And then I just that's when I kind of shut down. You know what I'm saying? And then she got to the point to where she was like, look at me, Robert. Look at me. And I was like, no, there was no reason for you to raise your voice. And she goes, look at me. Because she hears the autistic, that I'm being tested for autism. So what's that? Eye contact. Well, when I'm pissed off and I'm trying to defocus, I don't want to look at somebody that just raised their voice at me because they're trying to show authority for no reason. And that makes, you know what I'm saying? And then it got into the whole, yeah. But yet this is what she wants, and I have no choice to do it. But I don't know exactly what it is that she wants, so that's why you're calling me, if that makes sense.
I got you. So really, what it is you're going to come in here, you're going to be as honest as you can. We're going to do another assessment. Probably most of it's going to be already what you told me, and then as far as like providing you a service to do, and I know you say you don't want the relapse prevention, like you're doing it, and because you're staying off the methamphetamines, right?
Yeah, there hasn't been, yeah. But the thing is that the part of being involved with alcohol and drug, if there becomes a sanction or something like that they bring before the courts don't, they're not gonna, like, Lake County obviously doesn't believe what the rules are with marijuana and probation. Like, I can't even walk into a bar right now. Like, I like, literally, it's a restriction. I can't go to no establishment that's primary sole purpose is alcohol. Everything that they signed was basically a way to have the alcohol and drug part added to my probation, and then they're just going to dismiss the criminal charges. That's not okay, because this is all where it stems from. And then on top of that, the officer himself started backpedaling. He told me that he gave the meds and the meth, that the actual paramedic is the one that found the meth in the bottle. I was like, no, sir, when you arrested me in the store, you just told me that you found 3 grams of meth in my pill bottle. I said, so how is it that so where's my property receipt that you took something from my house? No, you misunderstood what I said. I said that I gave the paramedics your meds, and they were supposed to give those to you when you got out of the hospital. I said, sir, I never went to the hospital with no meds. There was no meds provided to the hospital. All I had when I got out of the hospital was about 4 or 5 pieces of paper, and then I followed through with every recommendation of that. And on top of that, the toxicologies were done, everything was done, and I'm on a pain contract. So if I was under any influence whatsoever, my doctor would have been notified, and I would have been taken off my meds. And then that's where, talking to my counselor today, she got kind of confused because it doesn't really actually say in the report, but I guess I refused a UA. You know, and I don't even remember being asked to take a UA, but I just assumed that them taking blood was, you know, I'm like, yeah.
Do you think that UAs will help, like, actually prove the point?
No, no. I will straight from this point on. No. I will be straight up defiant. I will wait until I go to a hearing in Jefferson County and talk to the judge, because it's got to the point to where I'm feeling like I'm being bullied and I feel like I'm being violated, straight up. Because even down to this,
I really don't want you. I don't want you to feel that way, and I don't want to add to that at all. So
well,
I mean, I'm going to say still, like, as far as what this is now your choice, and if as far as working out what you need to do to go against this charge and stuff. But with like the first assessment, like, I didn't UA you, but usually that's what I do with assessments is I UA. And I didn't because, and I'll tell you, Robert, you have to remember I am new, and you were like one of my first assessments I had ever done. So, I've been trying to figure out, okay, how do we do it, right? Well, yes, we do UA, and then I do random UAs with each client. So that is policy here. So that would be something, if you did services, that would be what
and
you would
that's
do
what
here.
my concern was at the beginning, because when you sign that paperwork for that packet even very, I say it wrong every time, specifically or
Specifically.
yes, it says very clearly about the marijuana. It's wrote in there exactly about that. So if there's something on paper that I already signed, it's already signed right now. So technically I could be, but
yeah, and we would have to get rid of that, because I know that that's not your case. I made sure of that the marijuana is not.
But do you get what I'm saying? It's not what you know; it's what you can prove in court. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, no, I
that's
get that.
and that's what I have to. What, as my pops used to tell me, COYA, cover your own ass. That's all you have to worry about.
Okay.
And that's where I'm worried. But yet at the same time, even you saying that you're going to leave it up to me, I don't know what to do at this point, because I was just told to re-engage in services, and yet she's putting it as we, as in you and her, have already decided that I needed the treatment or whatever it was. So I'm kind of confused on what it is that I need to do to not be in trouble.
Yeah. Okay. So the step one would be an assessment, and the step two would be we are definitely not going to have you sign. We are going to get rid of that signature about the marijuana policy here. You can reject that. So the one that you did sign, we can avoid that. So I'm going to double check on that, because that would be, so right?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I thought that they did before because I was worried about that at the beginning, and I was told that they did double check on it, and then that wasn't going to become an issue. But that was before the DO was pushing. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean, and
I don't know if you know what the ORS code for, or the criminal code for dangerous drugs is. But if you should just look it up. It has to do with prescription drugs. It has nothing to do with fucking methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, or LSD. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So that's where I know right there. And then on top of that, to know that there wasn't even a verification or a confirmation from dispatch before they even transported me all the way there. And even my attorney doesn't even have any records of a felony warrant for my arrest. But that's what they put out for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
So these are all these details that you have a lawyer.
Yeah, and the only thing that he represents me in is the misdemeanor that I was arraigned on. So I was lodged and arrested on a warrant for the dangerous drugs. Within 12 hours, I was before the judge and being charged formally with a misdemeanor possession charge. But at the same time, that same DA was the one that signed, allegedly, the warrant for the felony dangerous drugs.
Okay. So it sounds like a lot of just pieces that are not, you haven't figured out. And so what I want is to see you out of jail and out of trouble. And so I mean, it would probably be the best you come in and do the assessment. So like at that point you are compliant, right?
Yeah.
You are doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
I will make sure about the marijuana policy, and we'll look at that, and with the receptionist. Actually, I will call even my director to make sure that that's not something that we can void that from the time before.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, when are you coming back into town?
Well, I was supposed to be there today for my appointment, but so I'm in the process of getting the CV axle, but it should be within the next couple days. And I was told today that it's supposed to be snowing there tonight or tomorrow, and that put more anxiety on getting home, because I was trying to do the dog kennel.
It's kind of going to be a mess.
Yeah.
Can we give it, since you have you're doing what you're doing on your end, and Alex, I believe Alex will probably be back Friday. If she's not, then I will call you myself. Okay. And schedule for next week.
Okay, the 30th?
Yeah, let me see.
I'm just gonna put in for my appointment. I'm gonna put call for eval, and then
Yep.
and
So
then
it's going to be Alex or me on the 30th to schedule you for next week, so that we can just get through this holiday, and then next week we'll get you in for an assessment.
okay. All right, sounds good then.
Hey, I appreciate you being real with me.
That's the only way I like it. So sorry,
Yeah,
it was too
and
direct.
and I just remember I'm not here to harm, but to help. And so whatever I can do to help advocate for you, I want to do that, okay? And so I will do my end as far as investigating my part and have some more information too on the 30th for you.
Okay. All right. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Take care of yourself and be safe.
I will. And you too.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye.